Tonight we have several new police officers or officers that have been promoted, and I think, Chief, would you like to come up and introduce them and talk to us about the pinning of the badges and stuff?
So first and foremost, I appreciate the time, Mr. Mayor, Mr. Vice Mayor, other council members, Mr. Dressler, to take the opportunity. I think it's important for us to have the best relationship we can with our citizens in the city. And you know, this is one of the many platforms we try to use for the citizens to get to kind of meet their officers. Obviously, we do different programs throughout the year. National Night Out, we do Shop with a Cop, we have the Youth Bike Rodeo or Youth Rodeo. And you know, it's important because you know the relationship that the community has with its police officers is important. And I'm going to be honest with you, I think that Covington has a good relationship with its law enforcement. They, you know, have supported us through tough times. We see it constantly. I have people that constantly come up to me and thank me personally for what we do. And you know, I don't always get the opportunity to thank them back, but you know, tonight I actually have that opportunity. So just to anybody and everybody that's ever, you know, thanked me for being a police officer, or any police officers that are out back, just take this opportunity to thank the folks for thanking us. We appreciate it. It's important. We need to know that, you know, the community supports us, the community backs us. So that, we want to come out here and be able to do the best job we can for us, but we got to know that we have the support that we need to do it. Tonight, one of the main things is in the last several years, we've had a lot of folks leave. We have brought in new folks. And tonight I'm going to have the opportunity just to introduce some new police officers that we've hired, as well as some officers that we recently promoted. The police department is a kind of like a paramilitary organization. We have ranks that helps us structure the department. Folks know what they're doing based off of what their responsibilities are, and we do that by utilizing ranks. One of the first officers that I want to introduce, he's not here tonight, unfortunately. We couldn't get everybody to come tonight. He's out of town. Sergeant Daniel Craig Agee. Sergeant Agee was promoted on February 1st, 2024. He basically came to us. First, he served in the United States Army Reserves from 2011 to 2019. But he had actually 6 years experience before he ever came to the city of Covington. He worked with Prince William County Police Department for about 4 years, and he spent a couple of years with the Botetourt County Sheriff's Department. Sergeant Agee recently submitted for promotional process and was able to successfully complete the process, and ultimately was chosen to be a sergeant. And basically what a sergeant does in the police department, if you don't know, he is the one running the shift for the day. He's like the watch commander. So his job, or her job, is basically to make sure that the officers who are working, and generally if we're fully staffed, we have 3 officers working per shift. He can supervise the other 2 officers, making sure that whatever decisions that they're making are correct. Make sure that what they're doing is good. And he's, you know, I'll be honest with you, when we get officers like Sergeant Agee, from larger agencies, there's a lot of extra information that they deal with from those organizations that they bring to a smaller department like ours. So we're glad to have him. Currently, his assignment is patrol supervisor. The next individual, he's actually here, come on up, is Corporal Harry, we all know him as Butch Brown.
Smiled for the picture.
Corporal Brown was promoted in February 26, 2024. Of course, Butch has been with us, or been in law enforcement and correctional for about 25 years. He started his career with the Augusta Correctional Facility. He worked for the Allegheny Sheriff's Department, as well as Botetourt County Sheriff's Office, Clifton Forge, and currently he works as our animal control officer, and he works as patrol. So he's a unique position. Corporals, they fall into that category. They can do either a supervisor's job or a police officer's job. So when you have that scenario where we have somebody that we need to fill a void, actually, Butch is actually the perfect opportunity, because he doesn't normally work a shift. He generally works Monday through Friday, trying to get you know, the animals under control. But he does fill in that role. So he does, believe it or not, a lot more than what some of the other guys does. They still have to respond to an animal call, and then 5 minutes later he's dealing with a domestic. Previously, if you all remember Delbert Smith, he was not a law enforcement officer, he was only animal control. So that's the advantage we have with Butch Brown. So go ahead. Next is Corporal Jacob Tolley. Jacob was promoted the same day as Officer Brown, or Corporal Brown, February 26, 2024. Corporal Tolley's got about 16 years of experience. 8 of those actually spent as reserve deputy with the Sheriff's Department. Jacob started his law enforcement career with the Allegheny County Sheriff's Office. And he's got a legacy in his family. His father was a law enforcement officer, his uncle's a law enforcement officer, so it runs in the family. It wasn't, I guess, he spent a little time over at the paper mill, but he still had that itch for law enforcement, so he stayed in law enforcement, kept his certification up, and eventually decided that he wanted to come back into law enforcement full time. And fortunately for us, he did. He came to the city of Covington. Currently, he's assigned as our patrol canine officer. He's in a unique position because he works the city's canine animal, Bear. I'm going to be honest with you, Bear is probably the best canine in the area. And I say that because anytime that we have a situation, I want Bear with us. And a lot of credit goes to the handler. You know, when the handler doesn't work at all, or doesn't do what he's supposed to do with the dog, it reflects on what the dog can and can't do. And I'm going to be honest with you, Corporal Tolley does a wonderful job handling Bear, and it shows through Bear's performance. So, thank you.
Hey, I just want to say also his great uncle is Jack Thurston, who hired me, so he was pretty much a genius.
Officer Levi Allman. Officer Allman's been with us for a couple of years. I never had the opportunity to do this with him, and go and step up. He started with us June 13, 2022. Officer Allman started with the city of Covington. His experiences was with the United States Army. He served from 2007 to 2012. He did spend some time in Iraq and Afghanistan. And he also was a registered nurse, and there were some other jobs that I found out about after I did the PowerPoint. But he's kind of a jack of all trades. I'll be honest with you, I've never had a scenario where I had somebody respond to the call. When we lost Officer Ogilvy, that was, I think, literally he filled out his application the next day and submitted it. He saw that we had a need for police officers, and he decided that he wanted to do it. So we're greatly appreciative. Currently, his current assignment is patrol. But he's also tasked to our regional emergency response team. So he's one of the guys that goes out when we have a serious situation and handles serious calls along with the Sheriff's Department. All right. Next is Officer Joshua Cox. Joshua started in January 4th, 2023. Before he served with the city of Covington, Joshua served with the Allegheny County Sheriff's Office, I believe, in communications, and then at some point he had the opportunity to work in the jail before he came to the city of Covington. We actually had the opportunity to pick him up and put him through the academy. He's done a wonderful job. I'll be honest with you. Here recently I've heard a lot of good things that he does. Mainly, when he gets an investigation, he's very thorough. He's detailed with his work. He does a lot of wonderful things. His current assignment is patrol. Next is Officer Brian Jack. He's our newest hire. Well, not our newest hire, but our newest full-time hire. He was hired June 14, 2023. Brian is a transplant. He was born and raised in New York. He is not related to me, just in case anybody knows. And his current assignment is patrol. Most of the officers, Officer Jack, when you start with the police department and you're not currently a police officer, you start in what we call as a recruit. Recruit has, they go through 20 weeks at the police academy, and then after they get out of that, they got to go through another 12 weeks of field training. The officers generally stay on probation for about approximately 18 months because we have that training period that we got to observe them through. Plus, we got to observe them working on the road. So he doesn't have an opportunity just yet. He's just learning how to become a police officer. But in a couple of years, he'll have the opportunity, like some of the other ones, to specialize, the branch off like a specialty, to do something like ERT or, be a canine officer or something like that. And last but not least, he currently isn't here, our school resource officer, Mike Browning. Mike started September 18, 2023. And it was kind of I'll be honest with you, it was kind of a fluke thing. Obviously, you know, we wound up, after JB's passing, we wound up how to fill that position in Gita Watson School. I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to be able to do it. And it just happened to be so that Mike walked into Delta C, and I pitched him the position. I said, if you're interested, you know, we're looking for, you know, retired guys that would be interested in doing this. And I didn't think he took me seriously. Then less than a week later, I had an application. Mike's previous service was with the, I mean, he did some time in the military, United States Navy. He was active duty from 84 to 87, and he was in the reserves. I think it was about another 4 or 5 years. Oh, excuse me, 87 to 89. He was with the Virginia State Police about 31 years, 4 months. So he served as a state trooper. Now, Mike had a special job in the state police. He was part of the sex offender registry. So a lot of times he would, individuals that wouldn't comply with those laws, he would go out, seek out, and then correct their actions. So Mike was a blessing in disguise, and he's doing a wonderful job. He recently just went through the school resource officer training program, and then he's currently assigned to Gita Watson. So those are our newly promoted officers and our newly hired officers. Most of them have been here for a little while, but I wanted to have that opportunity, and I appreciate the time during the work session to do it. One other thing I wanted to do is just give the guys the opportunity. Ever since I've been a police officer, I started my career in law enforcement in the military. There's a ceremony that we generally do, and that's pinning the badge on for the officers, whether they're recently started in the career field or newly promoted. Even in the military, we did it. I actually had my training instructor do it for me because I didn't have any family. But from the point on, from when I graduated the academy all the way on, every time I got promoted, I had a family member do it, from my wife to my kids. And I always thought it was a special moment and an opportunity. And we did it here at the council meetings. So I wanted to give these guys the same opportunity, and I had them come in here today. So I'm going to have them come on up front. You guys will line up front. We'll do it right over here, or wherever works for you. Don't leave just yet. We can take a couple of pictures. And the most important part about this in law enforcement, a lot of people don't realize families sacrifice a lot for their families. They're doing another job. A lot of times, you know, officers' families play a big part in the success of police officers. If it wasn't for family members, a lot of us couldn't do the job that we do every day. So that's why it's important for me to give the family members opportunities to do this. I think it signifies the importance of either when you're transferring into law enforcement or transferring from one position to another. So again, everybody, congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you. Good job.
Here's something like that in the shirt. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I've been here for a while, right? Thank you for a minute or two. A minute, just a little bit. Here for you. Yeah, this is why we can't have nothing free.